Yeah, so I want to keep bringing people on here. So I got John next. He's one of my members in group number 4. You guys, this is our last group that just started. And so, again, one after another, I'm going to keep pulling different members of our community on today because it's one thing for me to jump on here and tell you guys how great this is, but it's another to hear it from the members. So, John, what's up, my man?
What's going on, brother? How you doing today?
Good, dude. Wave to the followers here and tell people. So, so talk to me, dude. Like, what's been your experience with We Are the They? Maybe go for 2, 3, 4 minutes. Tell people why you've loved being a part of the community.
Oh man, I've been thinking about this since you asked me to do this, and I was like, what am I really going to say? And it's one of those that, like, I think you have a pretty large influence there in like Utah, and I'm one of the people that's not local. I had no idea of heard of Watt, B1, Jimmy Rex, anybody up until I met a guy in group 2 through a whole nother mastermind, and I just shot him a text on our Facebook or something. I was like, what are you doing with this group jumping off cliffs, going to Iceland? And he just kind of just told me this Watt thing, and I was like, I had no idea about what it was, and it wasn't until a year later he just kind of shot me a text, said, hey dude, I've met you, you seem pretty cool, this kind of thing would be something that you're into. I know you're into the personal development space. They're opening up this group 4, you should check it out. And he's like, but you should do it pretty damn quick because this fills up very fast. I think he said he had to like wiggle his way into group 2 as Brad Cropful, how he got in, he told me the story. Yeah. So I just said, you know what, screw it. Here's the credit card number. Let's make this happen. Because I've realized as I've gotten older, because I'm 30, I turned 35 this month, and I grew up in a very social background. In high school, I had a lot of friends. Went to college, played rugby, which was just a kind of big social group in itself. And when I left college, I moved to Texas, and I had a lot of friends here. But as I realized I've gotten older, those friendships have really changed. I'm still friends with them, but you start to look and value different things in friendships and stuff. And I was losing that deep connection with people where you can drop me in Kansas City and I have friends all over the place, but I was just like, that's there. And I don't have the same relationship as I used to because they're all college friends. It was usually around playing rugby and drinking beer and having a good time, to where I was missing that piece. And Brad had kind of told me about this group. It's like, dude, it's life-changing. You got to do it. And thank God that I did it. But I was actually kind of worried because, like,
thank you, Jim, by the way. Jim Quick, give me a shout out there. One of my favorite people on the internet. So just wanted to touch base real quick there. Like, what a guy. But sorry, keep going, John.
Yeah, but I was really worried about just jumping into this because I was so far away. I was like, man, how am I going to make this work and build connections with people? Because I'm an in-person kind of person. Like Zoom, everything, I say it's like it works temporarily, but you're not going to build those real connections that route. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to give this a shot. And I mean, even through those first like Zooms, like you could feel the appreciation and the other people that you're kind of working around. And I kind of realized, it's like, man, these guys are awesome. And then going to that first group in Moab, which was just last December for me, like I was sold. It was life-changing. I didn't know what to expect, but the connections you meet with these people, the brotherhood you create, it was exactly what I was looking for and missing in my life. And I've met these guys several times now, but I realized I do have to put in the effort. You do have to show up. You can't just be a fly on the wall. You got to go out and you got to talk. You got to get yourself involved. And it's one of the things I think you do very well is getting people. You break up cliques. If somebody's being quiet, you drag them in, say, man, you're here. Let's get this work done. So I commend you for that. So it's only done 2 events for us, but it has been life-changing to where I can already tell the dividends and the trajectory my life is taking just in these last like 6 months is going to pay dividends for decades.
Yeah, well, and I think a powerful part of your story is a lot of people say, well, I'm not in Utah, so it won't work for me or whatever. So you're clear on the other side of the country. You're in Florida. So how has it worked? So
Texas, South Texas.
What did I say? Florida. That's where I'm going this weekend. In Texas, sorry. But just being clear out there in Texas, I mean, but it works. And why does this work group work where you say a lot of other ones, wouldn't necessarily the same?
Man, I think it's really the way it's facilitated and run to where it's one fee per month. And when you get to the groups, like everything else is covered. So like, obviously I have to fly in, but I don't have to worry about lodging. I don't have to worry about food. I don't have to plan all this other stuff. So when I show up, I don't have to logistically think through all of this other stuff. It's like, I know I show up at that door and the next 3 days it is taken care of. I don't have to worry about anything. And then like, and what I mentioned earlier is making sure that you don't get these clicks pulled away. Everything's in these group settings. And when you got 50 guys, like one of the most transformational things we've done was that in, the last Ludus we had there in Utah was the breathwork thing. I had never done it before, but being in a room with like 50 people all going through it at once, the synergy around that, I don't think I would have had that breakthrough anywhere else, because it was facilitated in a way that it's the collective, it's the group, it is one unit doing it all together, and you can feel that. So like, I've been a part of other groups before. They were smaller. It was just run differently to where I know I can reach out to anybody, because most people think like, well, I just have my one coach and I reach out to him. Well, while I can reach out to you, I got 50 other guys that I can reach out to. It's like, hey, I got this situation. And they come from all walks of life. I think the youngest in our group's like 22, and the oldest, Jonathan, I think he's like in his 50s. So there's all kinds of life experiences, income levels, career paths, everything. So that's where I really like this group, is it's got everything. To where I've been in groups before where it's all real estate, which is what I'm in. So it's like we all kind of have the similar mentality and similar problems within that thing, to where I can go talk to a guy in multi-level marketing and he says, this is what I've done in that type of situation. It's like I can now morph that into what I'm working on. So that's what I think the biggest difference is. It's the variety that you get.
Yeah. Well, and from a business standpoint, I think that's one of the things, a lot of people want to join to help their business do better. So what are some of the things that you've been able to do for your business in general, John, to help you just by being a member of the group?
Oh, dude. I mean, I can say now I'm making more money now than I ever have in my entire life. And you and I talked about this a few weeks ago, and it's actually kind of threw my head off. I was just like, man, what do I do? This is different. I never had this issue before. And it is from this group, because after coming back from the Ludus in December, my business partner and I were going through a transition. He's actually joining group 5. And we were going through a transition in our business, and I realized I was trying to get him to do things that were selfishly for my benefit. And he's a great dude, so he said, yeah, let's get this done. But I realized that if I wanted this to work, I need to do this for myself. And I kind of let him take the business, the portion he wanted to run, in his own direction. And that's just absolutely exploded our business. And therefore, like December after Moab, I was really kind of like, dude, I don't know what I'm going to do. This is kind of, where am I going to fit in our business? And fast forward 4 months later, and I mean, it's double, tripled our cash flow that we're making every single month. So that's really kind of helped clear my head, to where it's not like I can say I did A, B, and it equaled C. It was one of the things, like, there was something that happened in December that has drastically changed the first part of this year versus first part of last year. And the only like massive change is I joined this group and I got into integrity with myself and got some clarity, to where I said, man, I know you want to do that for yourself. You go do that. This is my responsibility to do on this side of the business, because that's what I want. And it's drastically changed everything for our business.
Well, that's what I tell people, even though this isn't a business group, when you get your mind right, when you start getting around the right people, when you start getting the right energies into your life, all of a sudden your business is just going to benefit from that in general.
100%. I mean, that's what it is. It's like, it's my own head, it's my own relationships, it's my own way I carry myself that's drastically changed our business.
Awesome, man. And so for anybody that's on the fence, because you've referred to one of your best buddies today, your business partner, he just joined group 5. You were referred from somebody from group 2.
Yep.
And how grateful are you to him, the person that referred you?
Oh, dude, I actually put him in my gratitude list this morning, because I was like, man, without ever, like, so I'm doing something on my gratitude list where I'm kind of going like past things that have led to myself today. And I mentioned Brad. I was like, dude, like, if I'd never met him, I would have never. And he's in Utah too. When he met in Pensacola, Florida, of all places, of like how it comes about. But I'm extremely grateful that he brought me into this group and just made the introductions. Like I said, I didn't know anything about it. Never heard of Jimmy Rex Watt, nothing, because I don't know, like 1,000 miles away. But I'm super grateful that he brought me into, because like I said, the dividends this is going to continue to pay is going to be tremendous over the course of my life.
Awesome, man. Any last thing you want to say with your last minute here? Anybody that's on the fence of whether they should join the group that just opened or not?
If you're thinking about just do it. I mean, it's not going to be in any way, shape, or form a bad thing. Figure out a way to do it. show up and do the work, and you're gonna have dividends. If you're worried about it, like for whatever it is, like just go for it. I've noticed that in my life, where if I'm really on the fence about something, it's either hell yes or hell no. And one of these things is like, dude, hell yes, let's knock it out of the park. Let's freaking do it, because I've I've seen enough. I know enough now that I can't recommend this group enough to anybody that's kind of on the fence.
So the guy that said, thanks, John, and you can bounce off now. I appreciate you. But who the person said that, what are we talking about? So this is my coaching program. We are the they. John's one of the members. All day long today, I'm bringing different members on that are going to share their own personal experiences rather than me just jump on here and tell you how great this program is. You know, we've been going for 2.5 years now. So I have so many testimonials and members that have had life-changing experiences. And so throughout the day, I'm just bringing different ones on so they can talk and share their own experience. And John is one of those members. So thanks again, John, for joining me, buddy, and go crush it. But
I'll see you later, man.
We'll see you down in Lake Powell.